tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away, as you fade away.
Yeah, I'm about to fade away, cause every time I wake up I feel like it's Monday. Something's going wrong with all the chemicals up in my brain. All of a sudden I don't look at anything the same way. Gotta build up of my thoughts sitting in an ashtray. I'm sorry that I'm so inconvenient, okay. Just let me be me and I'll stay out of your way. I can see the way you look at me, I'm such a disgrace. I never really asked to be brought into this place. You wanna love me? Well then baby have a taste. All the highs and the lows, no you'll never be the same. I don't really wanna hurt you but I can't control the pain. If you're sticking by my side maybe we could be okay. Okay, maybe you could be the change I need today. I promise that I've never felt this way. I really hope that you will choose to stay through all the pain.
I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away, as you fade away, as you fade away.
In 1939 that predicted the existence of black holes. This, along with the Born-Oppenheimer approximation, remains two of his most cited papers. Although he was nominated for a Nobel Prize 3 times, he never won one. Oppenheimer began to awaken politically in the 1930s and realized that Hitler's Nazi Germany could well develop the world's first nuclear weapon. As war broke out across Europe in September 1939, America watched with a fearful eye. Oppenheimer eagerly joined the early efforts his country was making to develop a nuclear weapon. In 1940, Oppenheimer married Catherine Kitty Puning, a radical Berkeley student and former Communist Party member. The pair had their first child, Peter, in 1941, and their second, Catherine, was born 3 years later. In 1942, General Leslie Groves invited Oppenheimer to become the scientific director of the Manhattan Project, the top-secret U.S. project to develop the atomic bomb. After Oppenheimer had selected a location in Los Alamos, New Mexico, the U.S. Army went about constructing a series of laboratories there. The best minds in physics across America and Europe were brought to Los Alamos and tasked with creating a bomb like no other the world had ever seen. Oppenheimer's team of just a few hundred soon grew to several thousand, all under his direction, as American taxpayer money flooded into the project. Although Oppenheimer had little experience managing a project of this scale, he quickly learned the ropes, repaying the faith that General Groves had bestowed upon him. Just 3 years after the project began, Oppenheimer and his team were ready to test their atomic bomb. The Trinity test was conducted on July 16, 1945 at Alamogordo, New Mexico, where an anxious Oppenheimer watched from a control bunker as the world's first nuclear explosion erupted. After the bright flash of light, it was observed that Oppenheimer breathed a huge sigh of relief. His team had done it. His first words reportedly were, "I guess it worked." He later famously recalled that the history-defining moment had brought to mind words from a sacred Hindu text. "We knew the world would not be the same." A few people laughed, a few people cried. Most people were silent. I remembered the line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." I suppose we all thought that, one way or another. Less than a month later, America dropped 2 atomic bombs on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, effectively bringing an end to the Second World War. Oppenheimer was said to have been distraught that the bomb was used twice, believing the second bomb was unnecessary. A few days later, he secured a meeting with President Truman where he expressed his revulsion at Nagasaki, telling the president that he felt there was blood on his hands. The president had little time for Oppenheimer's moralistic stance and famously stated to his aides after the meeting, "I never want to see that son of a bitch in this office again." After the war, Oppenheimer became a household name and featured on the covers of both Life and Time magazines. In 1947, he became chairman of the General Advisory Committee of the Atomic Energy Commission, AEC. During his time there, Oppenheimer opposed the development of the more powerful hydrogen bomb, a position that put him in the firing line of those who wanted to take a firm stance against the growing Soviet threat. It wasn't long before his enemies got their way. Denounced as having communist sympathies, Oppenheimer was removed from his role at the AEC in 1954 and stripped of all security clearances, effectively losing his political influence simultaneously. The move shocked the scientific community and took nearly a decade before amends were made. In 1963, President John F. Kennedy awarded Oppenheimer the Enrico Fermi Award, although President Lyndon B. Johnson presented him with it after JFK's assassination. The award was not only an apologetic gesture but also one that signified political rehabilitation for the famed scientist. In his later years, Oppenheimer continued to lobby for international control of nuclear weapons and atomic energy. On February 18, 1967, he died of throat cancer in Princeton, New Jersey, just a year after retiring. He was one of the greatest minds to ever walk upon the face of the earth.